The Maasai Mara, a vast expanse of rolling grasslands. It is a theater of life and death. Here, legends are born. One such legend was Oleku. His name even now is spoken with a certain reverence. He was not just any lion, he was a king, a true monarch of this wild domain. His story began like many others, a young cub, vulnerable yet filled with potential. But Oleku was destined for greatness, a path that would etch his name into the very soul of the Mara. His presence would soon command the plains. Even before his prime, there was something different about him. Observers noted his keen eyes and early displays of courage. No lion, however mighty, rules alone for long in the competitive world of the Mara. Oleku understood this fundamental truth. His rise to power was not a solitary endeavor. It was a tale of brotherhood, of strategic alliance. He formed a coalition with other strong males. These were not just companions, they were his brothers in arms, his partners in conquest. Together they presented a formidable front, an unstoppable force ready to challenge the established order and claim their rightful place. This coalition was a masterpiece of natural engineering. Each member brought unique strengths. Oleku, it seemed, was the keystone, the calm, calculating leader. Their bond was forged in shared hunts, in minor skirmishes, and in the common ambition that burned within them. They moved as one, a golden wave of muscle and intent across the plains. Their roars, when sounded in unison, were a declaration of their arrival, a challenge to all who held power. One by one, they began to topple the existing kings, carving out a vast domain for themselves. With their rivals vanquished, Oleku and his coalition reigned supreme. Their territory was immense, encompassing some of the richest hunting grounds in the Maasai Mara. These were prime locations, teeming with wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo. Control over such areas was crucial. It meant access to plentiful food, which in turn meant strong, healthy prides. Oleku's coalition now had access to multiple prides of lionesses, the ultimate prize for any dominant male lion. This was the true measure of their success. The prides under their protection flourished. With such formidable males guarding them, the lionesses could raise their cubs with a greater degree of safety. Oleku himself, while a fierce protector, was often surprisingly gentle with the young cubs within his domain. He understood perhaps that they were his legacy, the future of his bloodline. His presence ensured that rival males and other dangers like hyenas were kept at bay. The lionesses in turn were loyal, accepting these powerful protectors as the heads of their families. Oleku's control extended over key strategic regions. Oleku's personality was a fascinating blend of calm authority and intimidating power. He was not a needlessly aggressive lion. He did not waste energy on frivolous displays of dominance. Yet, his mere presence was enough to command respect, and indeed, fear. When he walked, there was a quiet confidence in his stride, a regal bearing that left no doubt as to who was in charge. His eyes, a piercing amber, seemed to look right through you, assessing, always aware of his surroundings. He possessed a remarkable calmness, even in tense situations. While his coalition brothers might be more prone to agitation, Oleku often remained composed, observing before acting. This composure was perhaps one of his greatest strengths. It allowed him to make calculated decisions, whether during a hunt or a confrontation with rivals. Other animals too seemed to sense this. Hyenas would give him a wide berth. Even large buffalo herds seemed more cautious when Oleku was near. His reputation preceded him. Section 5. Echoes of Battle. Oleku's Fiercest Challenges and Triumphs. The life of a dominant male lion in the Mara is one of perpetual challenge. Oleku's reign, though mighty, was not without its share of brutal confrontations. Rival coalitions, young and ambitious like he once was, constantly probed the boundaries of his territory. They were eager to usurp his throne, to claim his prides and his rich hunting grounds. Each challenge was a fight for survival, a test of his strength, his courage, and the loyalty of his coalition brothers. Many battles were fought under the cloak of darkness, away from human eyes. The only evidence would be fresh wounds, a missing coalition member, or the triumphant roars of the victors echoing through the night. Oleku bore the scars of these encounters. His hide was a roadmap of past conflicts, each mark a testament to a battle fought and more often than not, won. He faced hyena clans, ever opportunistic, trying to steal kills or harm cubs. He faced them with a ferocity that left them scattered and wary. One particularly memorable challenge involved a trio of determined, nomadic males. Section 6. Brothers in Arms, the unbreakable bond and strains of coalition life. The success of Oleku was inextricably linked to the strength of his coalition. These were his brothers, bound by blood or by shared ambition. Their unity was their greatest weapon. Together they could defend a territory far larger and hold it for far longer than any single lion could ever hope to achieve. They hunted together, patrolled together, and most importantly, fought together. This bond was forged in the crucible of countless challenges, a silent understanding passing between them with every shared glance. This unity, however, was not always seamless. Life in a male lion coalition is a complex interplay of cooperation and underlying tension. While they presented a united front to the outside world, there were subtle hierarchies and occasional disputes within the group. These tensions could arise over mating opportunities or access to a kill. Usually these were resolved with minor scuffles or displays of dominance, rarely escalating to serious injury. Section 7. The Twilight Years. Oleku's graceful decline and inevitable ousting. Time, the great leveler, eventually catches up with even the mightiest of kings. Oleku, who had reigned supreme for so long, began to show the inevitable signs of aging. His once magnificent mane, though still impressive, perhaps thinned a little. His powerful muscles, though still formidable, lacked the explosive power of his youth. The scars of countless battles, once symbols of his victories, now spoke of a body that had endured much. His movements became a fraction slower, his roars perhaps a little less thunderous. His coalition brothers, too, were aging alongside him. The formidable unit that had conquered the Mara was now a group of veterans. Younger, stronger coalitions began to test their boundaries with increasing boldness. The challenges became more frequent, the fights harder to win. Oleku and his remaining partners fought valiantly, their experience and cunning compensating for their waning physical strength. But the tide was slowly, inexorably turning against them. Section 8. The Final Roar. The Passing of a Legend. After being ousted, Oleku's life entered its final poignant chapter. Stripped of his territory and his prides, he wandered the periphery of his former kingdom. He was a solitary figure now, a stark contrast to the powerful leader who once commanded vast stretches of the Mara. His coalition brothers, if any survived the final battles, were likely scattered, facing their own lonely ends. For Oleku, these were difficult times. Hunting alone was arduous, especially for an aging lion carrying the wounds of a long and hard life. He was often seen resting in the shade, a shadow of his former self, yet still possessing an undeniable aura of majesty. Other animals, perhaps sensing his diminished power, were less deferential. Hyenas might trail him more closely, hoping for an opportunity, yet even in his decline there was a dignity about him. He faced his solitude with the same stoicism he had displayed throughout his reign. He was a king in exile, his spirit unbroken by the harsh realities of his changed circumstances. The exact circumstances of Oleku's death, like those of many wild lions, are not precisely known. Section 9. The Enduring Legacy. Oleku, symbol of the Mara's wild heart. Oleku is gone, but his legacy endures. He is more than just a memory. He has become a symbol. He represents the untamed spirit of the Maasai Mara, its raw beauty, its inherent dangers, and its incredible resilience. His life story, from a hopeful cub to a dominant king and finally to a deposed elder, encapsulates the full dramatic cycle of life for these magnificent predators. He reminds us of the strength, courage, and intelligence that lions embody. He was, truly, a lion among lions. His reign brought a period of relative stability to the prides he controlled. Many cubs were successfully raised under his protection, carrying forward his strong genes. In this way, Oleku lives on, not just in memory, but in the very bloodline of the Mara's lion population. The tales of his exploits, his battles, and his commanding presence are still recounted by guides and researchers, ensuring that his legend is passed down to new generations of visitors and wildlife enthusiasts. He has become a benchmark against which other great lions are measured. Oleku's story also highlights the critical importance of lion conservation.